music is an interpretation of Aubrey Graham's music.
Yeah.
There's no music that's owned by copyrights to Universal Music Group or
Right.
OVO, any of those type of things.
yeah.
These songs are a tribute to
A tribute.
it's a tribute to an interpretation of
Right.
interpolation of
Ooh.
songs that are in the mode of one Aubrey Graham, and I take pride in the music. It hype me up, all those type of things. Before I listen to the show, but today I feel judged, Kenny Sofield, because I got somebody with a real ear for music, man, a true legend when it comes down to music, and not just music, but Memphis music and what should be on podcasts and all those type of things. Now, like I said, I ain't the brother. He can judge, but let's he got something he want to drop off, MP3 file he want to leave behind. You know what I mean? Hey, I don't want to hear. You know what I'm saying? But this guy's a true legend. I talk about people that are bearers of light in the city of Memphis. This man is definitely that. Ken, I went to outer space about a month ago, man. I don't know if I told you that, man.
No, you didn't tell me.
And those of you who do not know what outer space is, it is the recording studio, this multi-purpose recording studio that is a part of Unapologetic, which is more than a record label. It's more than just a clothing brand. It's more than anything you want to put on it. And we have the founder of that organization now, my man James, IMAKEMADBEATS Dukes, is in the building. Mask on y'all, man. He ain't got the mask on y'all today, man.
No mask today.
Man, my guy. Hey, this is a guy, man. This brother energy been pulling on me forever, man. And
God.
His PR publicist, me and her go way back to like high school, been friends forever. And she reached out like, man, I want you to come take a tour of Unapologetic and come check out Outer Space. I said, Outer Space, what kind of weed y'all niggas smoking? Shit. I'm like,
he's like, sign me up, let's go.
Let's go. Hey, when it comes down to the music industry, somebody say, I'm going to take you out of space. No, I'm straight. I'm good. I don't know what y'all got going on. So they invited me over, man. And I sat down with James. I had just a one-on-one, man. Just an amazing brother, amazing story. Just doing some great things here in the city of Memphis. And they're celebrating 10 years, their 10-year anniversary, Kenny Summerfield. Bring that graphic up. Yep. Awesome event. We're going to talk about this the entire interview. Unapologetic 10, man. The celebration of 10 years of turning vision into movement. No blueprint, no lane. Just belief, discipline, and bold ideas. This one is for everyone who helped build it. That's August 16th from 5 to 10 p.m. at Memphis Made Brewing. And Kenny, guess how much it costs to get up in that joint, man?
I see that sign. I love
my kind of price, man. $0.00. Yeah, James, you've been doing some amazing things in the music realm, man, the production realm.
Man,
being a unapologetic stoner myself, take me there, man. When I'm in that vibe and want to stay there, man, I come back home like, oh yeah, this shit is a vibe. Like, you are an amazing producer, bro.
Thank you.
You do some great work. You've done some great things. What are you talking about? Stuff for different TV networks or movie scores, all these type of things. Things that people don't even know are going on in the city of Memphis, right? We all know about, the traditional Memphis sound, but you're doing things on a whole nother vibe that a lot of people may not know about. So I started to ask you this: what is Unapologetic for those of you who don't understand, and why is it so important that you created this movement that Unapologetic is?
Yeah, man. First, I just want to say it's an honor to be here. Like it truly an honor to be here, man. I can't express that enough. Man, Unapologetic is a creative storytelling label. Like that's, and it took me about 10 years to come to that sentence. You know what I'm saying? Because like you said, it is a lot of times when I try to explain what it is, people don't really get it. So you got to use familiar terms, right? You got to say things like record label. You got to say things like storytelling. So that way people can be, oh, okay, I know it. Yeah, okay, yeah. But it's really something that I've never seen before. And so we just had to figure out what we were going to call it. But in short, what we do and how we're built is that we're an ecosystem of creativity, right? So 2015, when I started Unapologetic, I believed I had this crazy idea that the music industry doesn't exist anymore, right? What exists now is the creative industry, right? And the general idea was this, right? The lumber industry they get the majority of their money from selling lumber, right? The clothing industry gets the majority of their money from selling clothes. the music industry does not get the majority of its money from selling music,
Mm.
right? The music industry is dependent on other industries, right? So, what are artists selling now? They're selling clothes, right? They're doing brand and partnership with other companies. Essentially, they're selling the idea of
Yeah.
themselves, right? Um, they're selling events, right? They're selling images, right? And so, unapologetic is this ecosystem of all of those things. Excuse me. It's essentially me saying that the music can't live alone anymore. So why not just build the world that the music needs into this one thing? And we're going to call it unapologetic because I firmly believe with 1 million new artists every day on Spotify,
Mm-hmm.
the only way you compete for people's time and attention is to be authentically and unapologetically yourself. Knowing
Yeah.
who you are, right, with
Right.
depth is key to you standing out in today's industry.
Hey, man, for sure, man. One of your kind of taglines, one of the things you build unapologetic on is the phrase of "Here is where vulnerability becomes art and weird becomes genius." What
Yeah.
exactly does that mean to you?
Man, I was just rethinking about this and realizing how much that phrase still is just as important as it is now as it was when I first came up with it.
Mm-hmm.
Let's tackle the first part where vulnerability becomes art, right?
Mm-hmm.
The general idea is this, right? If you're an accountant or you work in construction, you work with your hands, you can tuck away your vulnerabilities, your emotions, your traumas. You can put that in a box, put that to the side, and get to work and be effective, right? In fact, your manager might ask you to do that. He might say, "Hey, shut up with all that. Whatever you're going through, put that away. We need to do this accounting or we need to do this construction," right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, art is different,
Mm.
right? Art, you have to carry those things with you into that job, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like you need your vulnerabilities, your emotions, your traumas, all of these things will help you design art, right? And that's not an easy thing to do at times, right? Keeping your vulnerabilities in your pocket or in your hand or on your chest or on your shoulder, sometimes that can be explosive,
Mm-hmm.
right? It can be because we're all as even as adults, we're learning to deal with ourselves every day, right? Well, that's the challenge of an artist. And so I believe that vulnerability becomes art, right? And then I think, and to put it simply, whatever someone called you weird for, that's your genius.
Mm.
That's it. Everybody, go back to your childhood. Think about what somebody called you weird for. Whatever that is, you now have a choice. Now that you
Yeah.
recognize that, you have a choice. You can let the world suppress it, or you can let that thing take you to the next level. That's your choice. All of us have something, right? And I'm
Yeah.
here to tell you at Unapologetic, your weird becomes genius.
Man, that's cold.
I
That's
love
cold
that.
right there.
I have,
Yeah,
I have
it's
a
cold.
question for you on the business side of things.
Mm-hmm.
2015 is when Unapologetic started. You're celebrating 10 years of existence. This, I forgot the date. Let me see the date one more time. Where is it? There it is. On what day
August
is it
16th.
again? I can't see. August
August
16th. Thank
16th.
15th.
you.
Yep.
Thank you. Sorry
Mhm.
about that.
Yep.
It feels like to me, especially with the music side of things,
Mhm.
2015 was around the time that the music industry completely changed, right? It went from kind of physical CD sales to touring.
Mhm.
That's how artists kind of got their shit off. That's how they got that and did their thing.
Yeah.
Streaming became popular, all these Spotify, Apple Music, all this
Yep.
kind of stuff. The way that artists could make a living off of their weirdness, off of their vulnerability.
Yeah.
How has Unapologetic kind of navigated those waters throughout the last 10
Mm-hmm.
years as you've kind of built this business in a
Mhm.
brand new age of the music industry, of art, of creativity, of all those things?
Yeah, I think so. There's been eras of that, right? Because the music industry changes. It's changed since we've been on this podcast. Like it changes every 30 seconds.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, so I would say in the beginning, right? I got my freedom to say I am finally a professional musician through the world of sync and license, right?
Yeah.
So
Yep.
I have a lot of stuff placed in TV, film, commercials, all of that stuff. And once I began to do that in a way to where I got more of the check, than any sort of middleman or sync house or whatever. That's when my life began to change, right? And I realized that, like, at the time, again, right around 2015, like, when I would bring this up, it would still be an unknown thing, right? Like, so, like, now every artist on planet Earth is like, how do I get my stuff on TV?
My publishing, right? What's my publishing? What's my all
absolutely
that?
Right? But in 2015, I would say that, and people would look at me like I was crazy for not trying to get beats to Drake, right? Or not trying to get beats to whoever was popping. If I'm a hip hop producer, I need to be doing that. That's the only way to move, right? Meanwhile, I'm getting checks every 3 months from a Burger King commercial, from an Olympics, thing, from a DC shoes thing, from a Samsung thing, or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's changing my life. That's giving me the ability to say, wait a minute, I'm no longer surviving. I can actually plan the future of my life, right? Because I have passive income now. So in the beginning, Unapologetic was focused on that, right? And to some extent, we still are. We never stopped that. We still do that, But I think as we grew and we recognized how important it was to give this an idea. What I mean by that is, like, I'm so glad I did not call this, like, James Dukes Records or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, and the reason why is because because the label has a built-in idea, right? It allows for brands and other companies to buy into that idea, right? So yes, we make music, we do photo, we do videos, we throw events, we got merchandise, we have all of those things. But the most valuable thing we have is the idea that we want to be unapologetically ourselves, and brands can buy into that if they want to promote or market being unapologetically yourself. Meaning, we set ourselves up for brand partnerships at a high level, right? So now companies who want to appear progressive, who want to who want to empower people to be authentic, et cetera, they're going to look at Unapologetic and say, hey, yo, we should reach out to them guys. We should do something with those guys, right? We should somehow involve us. And that's when we learned the lesson that businesses pay more money than fans, right?
Yeah.
And we were like, wait a minute. B2B sets us up for more time to think, right? B2C, which is directly to fans, people who want to buy shirts, people who want to come to events, like that was a great engine to start it off. But the second engine was like, okay, cool, like, but I want to start working identity-wise with more companies. Yeah. Right. And that's when we took revenue to the next level.
Yeah.
Right. And then ever since then, it's just been a boxing match of those two ideas. Now we're working with Google, and last year we worked with the PGA, and
man, it's crazy, bro.
That's so wild.
Yeah. And we're just continuing to do all
out of Memphis, bro. People don't even know, like, for real. Like, he's totally torn down the walls of what Memphis music is, or what the Memphis sound is, and I think that's absolutely incredible, man. And James, when it comes down to music, how people consume it, people consume music different ways. Some people say the best way to listen to music is in a nightclub, or the best way is in the car with the speakers loud. When I listen to your music, I like to be at the house, AirPods in, just leave me alone. Because it's like the intricacies of your music, man. It's almost like you can see it. Now, I just said earlier in the show, I might be fresh off a blunt when I'm listening to your show. I don't know if it's just that, but like I can see your music. Like when I'm listening to it, man, it's like it's 3D, like for real. So with that being said, when you have an idea for a track, or idea, okay, I want to piece this with this, are you hearing things in your head? Are you seeing things? Or are you feeling things? What is it? Or a combination?
It's a combination for sure. I'll say this, like that ingredients list for when I first started to make music has changed over time, right? That's why I'm so in love with music, is that it's a new thing every day, right? For the rest of my life, I'm gonna be discovering music, and it's gonna feel like the first day every day. But to answer your question directly, I usually have, so I like to score. I used to live in Manhattan for a while, and I used to wear my earbuds in. I would just walk around Manhattan trying to score everything I saw. So you look to your right, and it's like somebody about to get into a fight at a deli, right?
Oh wow.
And somebody's speaking a different language. Somebody doesn't understand the language, but they about to fight, right? I'm looking at that, and then I'm on my iPod, like, all right, let me pull up MOP.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and
It's
so
dope,
I have always been a fan of scoring the moment.
Yeah.
And then you learn the science of that, right? So you learn like what kind of chords, what kind of progressions have certain emotions attached to them, right? And so now when I sit down to make music, I'm pulling from a library of approaches to try to convey an emotion I just felt, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes it's uncertainty, sometimes it's pensiveness, sometimes it's like comedy. Sometimes, a lot of times I'm making music now that feels curious. I love curiosity, right? I love the magic moment, like you're watching Back to the Future and and then Marty's like, wait a minute. Things like that, I love. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm just trying to convey every emotion and idea that I have. You know, my first instrumental album was called Better Left Unsaid because I had the belief that I could say everything I needed to say without words. And that's what I try to do when I sit down to make music.
No, real talk. Cause I ain't gotta hear no words. Like the man music is, for sure.
It's a story. What does Memphis sound like when you're walking around Memphis? What does Memphis sound like compared to Manhattan? What does Memphis sound like to you?
Yo, that's a great question. And I have some new data for that too. So I you know, okay. There's obviously Memphis is a bit slower and darker, right? So a bit slower and darker, a bit more stutter steppy. You know what I'm saying? I find Memphis is much more broken chords, right? Much more you know, flat sevenths and like I don't want to go too deep into theory or whatever, but like,
you're already out there. Go ahead.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? And honestly, not as pretty, right?
Yeah,
not as pretty, not as high frequency, not as vivid, you know. Now I want to say though, like I think everything I just said, I think every genre can fit in that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not limiting that to like Memphis rap. You know what I'm saying? Like I think funk can fit in that. I think soul can fit in that. I think any sort of genre bending or genre combining, you know, combination of music can fit in that too, you know. But it's been a minute since I walked around with the AirPods in Memphis. I gotta go back to the reason why I said I got new data on that. We just did a song with Project Pat on Ontario's 5, right? And I was in Harlem when we dropped the single for that. So I'm in New York playing the most Memphis stuff. Shout out to my guy C Mage who produced it. You know what I'm saying? And that was such a crazy feeling because it was like listening to that, it made Harlem Memphis. Like I felt like I was here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's so dope, man.
It's such powerful music, you know.
Yeah.
Well, we listen. I know you. We haven't seen each other in a long time.
Yeah.
But me and you grew up in the same neighborhood together back in the day. Shout out Sherwood Elementary. Shout out Briar Road. Shout out all that area.
Yeah.
You went from being a hooper, Anthony. He's a hooper, man can ball his ass off.
I figured he could hoop. Yeah, for sure.
Ball for real.
Yeah.
To now, like when growing up in that area of off Getwell over off Sherwood Elementary, how did you get into this? Like, how did you get into music? What was your initial start?
Yeah, so I went to Sherwood Elementary. My grandma lived, you know, walking distance from Sherwood Elementary,
right,
on a street called Toby Lane.
Yep.
Which was, you know, you instead of heading towards Quince and East Memphis, you had the opposite direction down roads. It turns into Barron.
Right.
That's where my grandma lived, right? Now I lived a little bit further down Barron in Orange Mound, right?
Yep.
So I spent a lot of time in between those two neighborhoods because it's all walking distance. Like you said, like this is all, you didn't
It's
need a
all-
bike. Yeah,
No.
you could just walk. Yeah. You know, it's in the Mound, everybody was listening to whatever tape Paul dropped, you know what I'm saying? Mystic Styles, whatever, volume 14 to 4 to 83, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
and a lot of 8 Ball and MJG, Lil Blunt and Indo G, you know what I'm saying? A lot of that happening in the Mound, I have to mention my big brother Zarism. Tarek is his real name, but we call him Zar. He really was my introduction into him and my dad. They were both extremely passionate about music, right? They were that way first, right? And when you're a little brother, you have no choice but to soak all of this in. You know what I'm saying? Now I have to say though, my mother is a Guyanese woman, so she's South American. She was raised partly in Guyana, which is just north of Brazil, and then partly in England. She had her first child in Canada, my oldest brother, Ronell. And then she had her next 2 children, Tarek and myself, here in the United States. I'm saying all that to say my mom is an international woman, right? And so I didn't grow up with her here in Memphis, but when we would go and visit her, man, it was like visiting the world.
Oh, wow.
Right? Like complete culture.
So you were raised by your dad?
I was raised by my dad here in Memphis.
Okay.
And then, during the summer times, we would go and visit her. And, she would live on the East Coast, sometimes in DC, Maryland, and in New York. Right. And, when I would go there, like just imagine being in Memphis, you eating grits and biscuits every day, you know what I'm saying? Excuse me. You're living the Memphis life, right? Yeah. And then you get on the airplane, and now I'm surrounded by Trinidadians, people from Barbados. You know what I'm saying? I'm in a neighborhood in New York that is completely West Indian, Caribbean. You know what I'm saying? And you turn on the radio, and all I'm hearing is Keith Murray, DMX, like, you know what I'm saying? Wu-Tang, you know what I'm saying? Which was like the biggest thing to me when I was a kid. Like,
oh, we could tell. I say this guy had to be a Wu-Tang fan. Like,
it had to be.
Yeah,
had to be.
Yeah. So many things. Yeah.
Yeah. And so, I lived in both worlds. I loved them both. It was kind of, I'm gonna be honest, like it was kind of sad though, because in both worlds there was criticism for the other world.
Absolutely.
Right? Yeah. So, and when I'm down here and I'm listening to Wu-Tang, I'm listening to Pete Rock, I'm listening to whoever, you know what I'm saying? It's like, that ain't bumping, you know what I'm saying?
Where's that 8 Ball? Where's that project?
Yeah. Especially riding the school bus. Once I got in middle school and high school, like, man, I was hoping nobody was asking me what I was listening to. Please don't ask me, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, I dreaded that moment. Yeah. But then also in New York, right? Like, I would be in New York, I would be somewhere on the East Coast, and like I remember vividly explaining like,
oh yeah,
to people, and I remember specifically being like explaining when the hi-hat would go like the triplet part. People just thought that was like, what is that? That's some y'all ride horses down there. People thought I lived on a dirt road in Memphis. You know what I'm saying? I'm dead serious. I'd be like, bro, Memphis is a real. We have Walmart and McDonald's. Like, what are y'all talking about? You know what I'm saying? People thought I lived on dirt roads, fam. Like, and so it was kind of, and that's when I realized, like, the way I'm different is that I'm all of these things. That's the different thing. It's that I didn't choose a side. Right? Like whenever they said, yo, you got to be one thing or the other, I must have been sick that day. I missed out on that scenario.
Yeah, man. Man, that is so dope, man. Well, this is my guy, James.
I have one last question. I'm sorry, dude. I got more questions. Why every creative's dream is to go, like, I want to go start my business in New York, right? I
Yeah.
want to go to LA. I want to go to all these big major market cities.
Yeah.
Why did you decide to start Unapologetic in Memphis? Like, why did you come back and do it
Yeah.
here instead of in New York?
Absolutely. So I'll just say this, man. You know what I'm saying? Like I one of my favorite things that I joke about now. So I lived in New York for many years, but I had to come back to Memphis to end up in the New York Times, right? I was in the New York Times from Memphis, not when I was in New York. And I joke about that because to me, that is emblematic of when you find purpose, right? Like dominoes fall for you in a different way when you're following your purpose. And I'm a very purpose-driven guy. I think that I am placed in certain positions for a reason. And that's why I end up starting something like Unapologetic. It was knowing that whatever I had learned in New York and abroad, that it means more here than it does there. It was knowing that 16-year-old James is still out there, right? And and 16-year-old James thought he was the only person like this in the whole city. You know what I'm saying? He had no idea that there were others. Yeah. Big shout out to IMC, right? Big shout out to a lot of the other musicians in this city who were daring to be inspired by the world, right? And I could have attempted this in New York, absolutely, but it wouldn't have meant as much to me. Like, this is where I grew up. This is where I want to build something that I hope has real change associated with it. I hope that, as things in Memphis move forward, I just wanted to do my part. When I came back here and I saw the way Orange Mound looked versus the way the surrounding neighborhoods looked, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna be honest, I'm gonna be super real. As soon as you cross them tracks and go over to Midtown, I saw all that development. And then I come back to the mound, and this, man, it was looking rough. It was looking worse than when I was growing up there. And it wasn't pretty. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
I knew that, like, yo, I gotta build something here, man.
Man, I got one final question for you. This is, of course, my guy James. I make mad beats, Dukes from Unapologetic.
Yeah.
James, a passion project that this is where I really heard about you for the first time. Was when you purchased the property out in Orange Mound at the old United Equipment Tower.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know where you at with that, but bro, I'm ready if you get that job going. Cause I've been inside, I've been in outer space, and I've seen what it is. I can just imagine what you got up your sleeve with this building. Are you still on that? And if so, tell us where you are with that and what you ultimately want to do in that area.
Absolutely. No. That's a development that won't die. I'll just say this, man. Like, I think the whole country is dealing with a lot of economic issues right now. Philanthropy, the way money is going right now, investment, it's just it's tough out here, man. And I'm gonna be super real, especially if what you're doing has anything tied to being black.
Yep.
Like, you seen what's going on. Everything, black pilots are being called DEI pilots now. Like, it's crazy. You know what I'm saying? And so, anything that's like that's the thing about it, is that development is excruciatingly black. It's in the first neighborhood built for them by black folks. The developers are black folks. The owners are black, right? And we're trying to build it to help build a black neighborhood, right? Yeah. And things have just gotten particularly interesting with all things happening in DC, aka no. Big shout out to DC. Let me not shout out DC. With all things happening in the Oval Office, it's become interesting. But no, we're still on the case. We're still on the path.
Yeah, man.
Ain't nobody going nowhere. I'll tell you one thing that I am not, and that's a quitter. Like, that's how you make it to 10 years, right? You take punches, you get back up, and you keep going.
Facts. But bro, when you open it up, hey, it's like me, man. I gotta be up in that joint.
I got you, Philly.
Whatever. Hey, Bluff City Media is wide open to you, man. Whatever you need, whatever you want, whatever we can do to help, bro. Like, for real, we love what you guys, what you're doing over there with Unapologetic, man. Love everything about what you have going on. So,
man, for sure,
love to be a part of it.
This is my
That's
guy,
love,
man.
Thank you so
My
much.
guy, James.
you.
I make mad beats Dukes, founder
Yes,
of Unapologetic. Unapologetic 10 coming up this weekend, August the 16th. Memphis Made Brewing Company, 5 to 10 p.m. Absolutely free, man. Come out and celebrate this brother, man, who has an insane vision for the city. Man, like I said, just letting y'all know it's okay to be weird, man, because your genius is in your weirdness, man, for sure.
It is.
Man, I was in school, I used to eat glue, man. Look at me now.
Yeah, look at you now. Look at you now.
I don't know what they got to do with nothing, man.
Look at you now.
Let's go.
All right, man. All right,
y'all.
Jay, take care, brother. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you.
Peace, bro.